Hey everybody, so I am back and I'm back with a first impression for you guys. So I am going to be filming a first impression on the NYX Total Control foundation drops. Don't mind like the messy hair and all. I'm gonna get ready after I finish filming this, but I just want to do a first impression on this because I've heard so many different mixed reviews on this. I've heard some people love it, some people aren't a fan. So I wanted to see how it would work for me, and I want to see how it will mix with other foundations. That's what I'm like very, very excited for. So I got the shade Alabaster 02. So I believe this was the lightest shade. I was not impressed with their range of shades at all. They only had like about 10 different shades, and the darkest one was not very dark at all. It just is not a good range. I'm very shocked by that. I am going to apply this two different ways, just like I've done in my previous first impressions. Half the side I'm going to do with the Beauty Blender, half the side I'm going to do with the foundation brush and see which I like better. And then I am going to prime my face with just a little bit of the Makeup Forever Step 1 Equalizer. This is the smoothing primer, just to help like counteract my like larger pores and any texture that I have on my face right now. I just want to have a smooth surface. I just want to have a smooth surface to apply the foundation to. So that's why I'm going to apply a little bit of this. So just to give you a little information of this foundation, in case you don't already know, it is a drop foundation. So it comes with a drop applicator. And it says on the side, it says with just a few drops, our Total Control Drop Foundation delivers sheer to full coverage and a velvety matte finish. Simply adjust the number of drops you use until the desired level of coverage is achieved. More drops equals more coverage, which they also have on the back of the packaging that tells you 2 drops is light, 3 drops is medium, and 4 drops is full coverage. We are going to see how this does. I've seen a few people do it a couple different ways on how they've applied it to the face. So I think I don't know if I want to drop it onto my face or if I want to drop it onto the brush or Beauty Blender. And I'm just going to apply some of this smoothing primer just to my like problematic areas. So I am not going to pre-conceal or anything like that because I want to see how this coverage really is on its own. So I'm going to just give this a good shake.
And then you can see when you open, jeez, oh man, if I can ever get it open. This really is not opening right now.
So as you can see, the applicator is a dropper, so it is very runny, and that scares me a little bit, and that scares me about dropping it on my face. So I think I am going to drop it onto the applicator because I'm really scared of making like a ginormous mess. I don't want to, and seems like that's what's going to happen if I drop it onto my face. So I am just going to take 3 drops to start and see how far that gets me. Okay, no. So if you apply it like that, if you drop it onto the Beauty Blender 100% is going to soak up some of the product. I feel like I didn't really get anything out of that at all. So I am going to take it and just kind of drop it down my face and see how that works. So it does have pretty good coverage. So I'm just lightly pouncing that into the skin. I do feel like it is a little drier looking on my skin. Like it definitely has that like velvet matte finish, which is what it says that it is. So that's not really surprising because I was kind of expecting that. So apply some up here and see how well it covers my redness on my forehead. So I wouldn't really go off of this whole drop system that they have on the back because when I did just like little actual drops, it really wasn't much at all. And when I'm putting it onto my face, I actually have to kind of let it like drip a little bit. So I think it seems like I'm using a little bit more product than what it claims to need. So that to me is a medium coverage, which is where I kind of fall in foundations anyway. I don't like something that is super full coverage, and I don't like something that is almost sheer. What I'm going to do is see how I like it with the brush. So I'm gonna see if I drop it onto the brush, how that will work. And then apply it right to the skin. So I'm noticing that if you buff it into the skin with a synthetic buffing brush, it does start to kind of separate a little bit. Let me just try and zoom you guys in. I don't know if you can see, but it is really clinging to everything in this area. It's like starting to break up, and I don't know. I'm assuming it's just because of the brush, but I really don't like how that looks. I don't know if you guys can really see, but the brush is just, I tried just applying it and just kind of like dabbing it in, and then started buffing it in, and as soon as I started buffing it in, it started to separate. Let's see if I can kind of get it to go all together again with the Beauty Blender. So I think what I'm going to do is just stick to the Beauty Blender. I always like to try both techniques out, but I want this to look as good as possible because I want to get a true first impression on it. And if it doesn't look good at all, I'm just, you know, I'm not going to be able to really give you an update because I'm just not going to like how it looks. So I'm going to finish applying this with the Beauty Blender. Okay, so now that I have fully applied one even coverage of this foundation, it is definitely medium coverage. I still see a lot of my redness through my forehead area. So I am going to try and build it up and see how it works. And that's kind of like the whole point of the foundation, is that you're supposed to have full control over this foundation. So you're able to build it up and build it up and build it up on itself to make it become more full coverage. So it's definitely buildable. I have to say it is definitely buildable. My forehead does not look any cakier, but it does look more full coverage. So far, it looks really good on camera. I feel like my face looks very airbrushed, very flawless. But in person, I feel like it's definitely kind of clinging to my pores just in this area right here, and it's starting to become a little kind of cakey in that area. But it's nothing that's too bad. I think that it's something that I can manage. I want to see how it looks and comes along after I have finished like doing concealer and putting a little bit of like bronzer and life back to my face. I feel like you always look so like one-dimensional and flat when you just have foundation on, so I definitely want to see how it is overall at the end. It definitely dries to like a powdered finish, but I do have a little bit of like, I can definitely feel it on my fingers, and it comes off a little bit onto my fingers. For someone with dry skin, you probably wouldn't have to set this, but someone with oily skin, I don't know, it would definitely depend. I personally won't set this, but someone with a little bit of oily skin, I think that you might want to still set it just because of the fact that it does have a little bit of runoff onto your fingers. So, but anyways, I'm going to finish up the rest of my makeup and I will be right back. Okay, so I'm back and it is now 1:14. So I'm completely finished my makeup. I just did like really like natural soft makeup today. Now if this wears very well throughout the day, I will be very impressed. But until I see how it wears throughout the day, as of right now, I just feel like my face looks like makeup. So this is definitely like a nighttime foundation, or like I said, I really want to see how this works mixed with other foundations. But the one thing that I am gonna say is that even though I feel like you can see that I am definitely wearing makeup, it doesn't feel like it. My skin feels very lightweight. It does not feel heavy. I don't feel like I am gonna be sweating this makeup off because there's so much sitting on my face. Just really the only spots that I've noticed cakiness is right in the creases of my nose, and usually that's where foundations get cakey first anyway. So yeah, we're just gonna see how it wears throughout the day. So I'll probably check in with you guys, I don't know, like 2 more times or so, just so you can kind of see how it's going throughout the day. So I'm not really doing anything like really crazy today, so it should do well, but we'll see how it holds up. So I will be back to check in with you guys in just a little while. Okay, so we are back and it is now 5:25. So it's been about 4 hours since I had finished my makeup before, and I have to say I'm very impressed so far by this. I definitely thought that it was going to get cakier, like around, especially around my nose where I had already seen cakiness from the beginning, but it has not. And it still looks pretty flawless. I do see a little bit more pores just in this area starting to come through, and the tip of my nose is starting to wear off a little bit, but that isn't always just the foundation's fault. Sometimes that's my fault, whether or not I'm touching my nose a lot or anything like that. So far, so good. I will be back later tonight before I take off my makeup to let you know my final review and my final thoughts on it. So I will see you later. Hi guys, so it is now 9:25. I am just now getting home from going out to dinner with my friend. Went and got our nails done. You can see, nice and fresh. But anyways, so I just wanted to give one last update before I go and take off my makeup because I cannot wait to wash my face tonight. I am very surprised by this foundation. I wasn't really expecting much because I did not want to be disappointed, and because I do have dry skin, I wasn't expecting it to stay as fresh looking as it has. I was really thinking that it was going to start to look cakey and dry throughout the day, but it really has not. The only spots that are cakey, I would say, are right around my nose, which we knew was going to happen because it's been happening all day. And I mean, you can start to see some of my like little breakouts coming through, and it's like my pores are starting to really show in this area. So I definitely am going to keep it. I'm not going to return it. I can definitely see myself getting some use out of this, especially on like a night out because of the fact that it can be so full coverage. And then I also, like I said, want to try mixing this in with another foundation and see how that works. So I'll probably do that in a tutorial so I can kind of update you guys, and that way you can see how it works too. I want to see if I can just add coverage to like my favorite foundations that need more coverage. I really think that everybody could get some use out of this, especially if it works well mixing with other foundations. But anyways, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I'm going to go scrub my face, get in comfy clothes, and probably go to sleep really early because that's what I do. That's just what I do. I'm like a 40-year-old woman going to sleep at 9:30. Typical. Anyways, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in my next one.